Well, first, the New Yorker magazine did a story on me once, and they called it Everyman. So I never assumed that I was better than the audience or smarter than the audience. I didn't go to college. I never pretended to be an intellectual. I left my ego at the door. I learned a long time ago, you can't make someone like you. Be yourself. The only secret in our business is there's no secret.
There's no secret.
There is no secret. Be yourself. You can't make them like you. You can't, if the audience doesn't like you now, you can do anything you want. You can't make them like, either like you or don't. It's a magical thing. Why they like you. So I always assumed I'll just be myself. Therefore, I leave my ego at the door. I don't ask questions that begin with the word I. I'm insatiably curious. I care about my guest. I never think about the last guest. I don't think about tomorrow's guest. In other words, if yesterday I've interviewed the Secretary of State, today I'm interviewing a ballet dancer, and tomorrow I'm interviewing the President of the United States, I am totally into the ballet dancer. I don't let my thoughts go haywire. And I can't explain that. I don't know where that came from, John. In other words, I can have a bad day, but it will not affect me when that light goes on. When that light goes on, bam, man, it's like home to me. So I'm home, and I'm honest, and I care about what I do. And I think that, in retrospect, that transfixed. When it started, I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to be a broadcaster.
So you got started in radio.
Uh-huh.
And did you bring that same curiosity and ability to focus on each individual guest back then 60 years ago?
Yep. Can't explain it. I'll tell you, my first day on the air, I always wanted to be in radio since I'm 5 years old. I don't know where that came from, but I just wanted it. I used to listen to the radio, and they would say things like, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. I would go into my bathroom, close the door, and go, a tale well calculated. I wanted to be a radio announcer. That's all I wanted to be. I had no interest in money. I just wanted to communicate on the air. When I was a teenager, I'd visit radio shows that had studio audiences just to watch the announcers stand in front of the microphone, what that was like. And I desired it. I didn't go to college. My father died when I was 9. I had a younger brother who was 6. My mother couldn't go to work. New York City bought my first pair of glasses. You're wearing glasses. I'm wearing. New York City bought my first pair of glasses. They called it Relief. And they paid our rent, and I lived in a little attic apartment, and we were very poor. But I wanted to be on radio. Couldn't go to college. Worked at a bunch of odd jobs. Ran into a guy one day who suggested I get down to Miami. I went to Miami, had $11 in my pocket. Stayed with my uncle and knocked on doors, and finally a small radio station. I did a test at the microphone, said they hire me, and I start the following Monday. From Friday to Monday, I'm up all weekend, picking out records, what I'm going to play. I was a disc jockey. Now it's my big day on the air. May 1st, 1957, I broadcast in 7 decades. This is my life's dream. The general manager calls me into his office and says, what name are you going to use? And I go, my name is Larry Zeiger. He says, you can't use Zeiger. Today they would. It's too ethnic. People don't know how to spell it. You need another name. I'm going on the air in 10 minutes. He's got the paper open to the Miami Herald, for which I would later write a daily column. And there was an ad for King's Wholesale Liquors. And he said, how about Larry King?
Oh, my.
I would later legally change it. So I said, okay. Now I go in, I sit down. It's 9 o'clock. The record starts swinging down the lane. Les Elgart, da-da-da-da-dee-dee. I lower the record, turn on the mic, nothing comes out. I bring up the record. Nothing comes out. I look at the clock. It's like 3 minutes after 9, and I tell myself, I can't do it. I wanted to do this all my life, but I can't do it. I'm scared. I can't do it. The general manager kicks open the door and says, you better communicate. This is a communications business. And he slammed the door. I turned the mic back on, and I swear to God to you, John, here's what I said. It's almost 60 years ago. Good morning. My name is Larry King. That's the first time I've said that, because I've just been given that name. And all my life I wanted to be on the radio, and this is my first day. And I'm scared, and I'm nervous. So I've been sitting here fading this record, fading it up and fading it down. So I better, and then the guy just opened the door and said, I better communicate. So I better communicate. And I've never been nervous again, ever. Because Arthur Godfrey told me, you learned the secret that day. You were yourself. You were truthful to the audience. Now think about this. I didn't think about it then. Any goof I made, if I cued a record wrong, screwed up a commercial, it's his first day. Put the audience in my shoes. Take them into my grasp. And I've lived my life that way. So my first day on television, it was radio with pictures. I still regard it that way. This, what we're doing now, is radio with pictures. So all my life, no matter what I've done, whether it's radio, television, internet, I'm doing the same thing I did 60 years ago. I'm asking questions. I'm transmitted differently. Whether it's satellite, phone line, internet, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing what you're doing right now.
Sure.
It's what I did 60 years ago.
Love it.